Hey there, Yangup here, and today we're going to learn how to launch and scale a product in 2021 using Facebook ads. Before we even get into it, I want to show you guys some results. On this ad account, I just gave you guys a refresh. This is my ad account, by the way, and this is dropshipping, like pure dropshipping, not any kind of brand or agency work. This is all mine. Second refresh for you guys. This account we spent $1.2 million, got back $3 million in the span of March, April, 2 months. We go to this recent month and I had to take out a bunch of the columns because we're scaling this right now and I don't want anyone to try to compete with me. But all right, so now that you guys know my results, let's get into how to scale your Facebook ads, how to launch. We're gonna cover it all. With Facebook ads, I'm sure you guys seen a lot of strategies out there. I wanted to approach this a little differently. I wanted to give you guys explain why these strategies work. So I have a section. The very first section is setting you up for success. Of course, we need to make sure if you're a beginner that you have the correct column set up. So setting your columns up correctly allows for a quick analysis of your funnels. Then we can break down each stage of your funnel and then we can make the adjustments. If you're making the right adjustments and you know how to read the data, you're able to incrementally increase the profitability. Usually when people mention buying data on Facebook, it really means getting the data and then optimizing your funnel, okay? Very little does the success come from Facebook. It's usually the changes done on the back end that is going to yield you the results or the best results. So there is a free PDF in my description on how to read the columns, so check that out. But I'll show you guys what my columns look like. So here it is. This is how you set up your columns. Budget amount spent. Just slow down the video, pause. It should be exactly like this. Facebook ad strategy contributes very little to your success. It's your understanding of direct response marketing, your understanding of how to create a high converting ad, and how to find a winning product. So a winning product is probably one of the most essential things that you probably need to get down to really be able to scale vertically. All these big numbers you see, all these products are very broad appeal. They've been in the market for a while as well. The demand of that product has been proven by the market for years. These products have tons of reviews on Amazon. They're in many retailers. The only thing they're lacking, the missing link there is no one's pushing it on Facebook, or people are trying to push it on Facebook, but they're using the same creative year after year on YouTube. They're just not able to tap into it. That's where someone with capital like me might come in. With our knowledge of how to scale on Facebook, we're able to come in, create the custom creative, and then just really take over. As for the ABO versus CBO, beginners just stick to ABO just for the control, but from my experience, it doesn't really matter, especially again, I mentioned that it's not really the Facebook ad strategy that matters. It's your actual product, your creative, your offer, all that other stuff matters the most. If you're testing a lot of products and you want to increase your rate of success, focus on these other skills, not Facebook ad strategies. Okay, so let's say you have a winning product or a product you want to test. We want to do audience research on it, right? Before we launch. If your product and creative appeals to a wide range of audiences, this will allow a high rate of success testing broad audiences, which is what most strategies on YouTube is teaching you. They're teaching you test single interests, and all these interests are 5 million in size and everything. Your product and creative has to be broad appeal, right? Do you really expect Facebook to figure out who your purchaser or ideal avatar is, especially if your product is a niche product in a pool of 5 million? Probably not gonna figure it out unless you spend a lot of money. So it has to be broad, right? That's the key. And also with these type of products and audiences, obviously there's a potential to be scaled higher vertically and in a shorter period of time. If your product and creative appeals to a niche audience, you're going to use more niche interests and you're going to narrow it down, especially when you're testing. And I know there's a lot of things out there, but it just makes sense. You can't scale it vertically, but you can do consistent months and profits or high profit margins with them. Then when you think of interests, you're targeting magazines, brands, stores, the niche itself. Just use common sense and use the suggestion tool. You can keep it really simple when it comes to Facebook. And then I just wanted to really emphasize again that targeting is not a hack to generating sales. Treat Facebook as a tool that that drive highly targeted traffic to your website. Your creative and product selection matters the most on Facebook. And when it comes to creatives, what matters the most is that you're following a framework to create a high converting ad. And for that, like, you can do your own research. Just make sure it's related to direct response marketing. And when you're creating your ad and creative too and formatting, don't reinvent the wheel. Refer to previous winners and current winners in your niche and take the elements from there and apply it to your creative. There's a free PDF in my description with all the resources you guys need to create a high converting ad. If you're a beginner, test 1 to 3 ads at the start. And when you're testing things in these ads, you're testing one variable at a time. The more variables you test, the more you have to spend to get significant data. Also, it's super important when you're creating your ads too, is to have a clear value proposition. Make sure your value propositions are clear and that your product is clearly shown in your creative. Keep it simple. That's probably the key if you really want to play the algorithm and not be losing money, not be spending too much time on the testing phase. The more simple it is, the algorithm will learn better because people will understand the ad easier. Video and image both work. It really depends on your product and audience. I'm sure some people say CPMs on image is lower, but like that doesn't always translate into sales, right? And also, not scared, but Facebook is getting strict and can detect if you rip videos. So do what you have to do to get your feet off the ground, but just be wary of that. And then as you grow, just pivot, reinvest in custom content. Of course, do what you have to do, but I'm not endorsing it. And now that we scale, I want to cover lookalike audiences for winning dropshipping products. Lookalike audiences aren't a secret hack to making a product ultra profitable or even make it work. Your focus again should be using the data to optimize your funnel. So lookalike audiences can work well for niche products and offers, of course. But when it comes to dropshipping and you think about it, dropshipping is just finding products and stuff. You want to find a broad appeal winner most of the time. Scaling is super straightforward when it comes to dropshipping. Usually lookalike audiences is just a way to expand horizontally. It's the most straightforward thing ever, guys. If someone says it's a secret to becoming profitable and there's like a trick to it, like, run away. And then here's just some basic information about lookalike audiences. When you have a winner like this, you're gonna throw this all out the window. Most of the time, Facebook's getting really smart for all my campaigns, all my stores, all my niches that I run up or are in. Everything is almost broad targeting. And that just really comes down to the product selection as well. So let's just move on. So testing phase made simple. The most important thing again is your creative and product selection. Understand whether your product and creative is broad appeal or not, and then target accordingly. So again, like I mentioned earlier, just use common sense. If it's a niche product, you're gonna target a little narrow, you're gonna narrow down your targeting. If it's broad, you're gonna target broad, those single interests that you're getting taught on YouTube by these other gurus. Choosing which countries is really straightforward. Whichever country you can ship to, you're gonna target it. But then you gotta be just aware that different countries react differently. They have different cultures, maybe even like different English levels, different English skills. So then, like, really keep things simple. Make sure your English is simple. Make sure your funnel is nice and simple, and that it's easy to read. For like, if you're targeting countries that aren't really strong in English, it's just really down to your funnel, right? You're gonna read the data and optimize accordingly anyways. So just use common sense and keep it simple. Here's my setup. You guys probably seen similar setups to this. It's so straightforward, guys. I'm emphasizing the creative and product again. The whole like how to craft an offer, how to create a high converting product page. Those things are the most important things here. As for the budget, $5, $10, $50 are still fine, even for high ticket products. How much you spend before killing an ad set or a campaign really depends on your break-even point and data Facebook is giving you. Ideally, you want to be running for a minimum of 2 full days and then reading the data afterwards, because the first day Facebook might give you bad traffic, especially if you are a new ads account. And then sometimes you guys will see very high CPMs, right? Don't panic. I also have a link in the description that will show you an in-depth day-by-day breakdown of what testing and scaling looks like. It really just shows you how a winner should look like in the testing phase, will look like in the scaling phase, and what you guys can expect and how to set up everything to scale. If you're on a low budget, you're gonna see much more fluctuations because the amount of low-cost purchasers and the actual costs of each low-cost purchasers fluctuate day to day. That might be a little confusing. To put in simple terms, if you're running low budget, you're gonna have to spend more to get data, and it's gonna be inconsistent most of the time. Ideally, run for 3 full days without touching or up to your break even, but be aware of your added carts, be aware of your CTRs, your CPCs, your ROAS. Again, a link in the description on how to read that. Okay, let's get into some more tips. Focus on learning the skills and following a framework on how to create a high converting creative, product page, etc. It just allows you to spend less time on the testing phase and saves you money and saves you time. Really, you want to be focusing on these other skills, so then focusing on this will really increase your rate of success testing products and on Facebook in general. A winning product will be a winner within the first 1 to 7 days. You don't wait to buy data for it to become profitable and then launch lookalikes. What people really mean by that is using the data, optimizing your funnel. If you're running lookalike audiences and just buying the data without making these changes, sure, you might be able to scale and become profitable, but for how long, right? And up to how much? Choosing a broad appeal product combined with a broad appeal creative will give you the most room for vertically scaling. Refer to my product research video to learn how to find broad appeal products or just find good products in general. Set up retargeting campaigns right off the bat. Don't wait, you're leaving money on the table. I see so much people wait to run retargeting campaigns, or they just don't run it at all. And let me put it into perspective for you guys. Last year, $10 million in revenue, almost half of that was all generated through retargeting, through multi-channels, Facebook, email marketing, all these other back-end channels. Scale these back-end channels, these retargeting channels, they work really good at scale. And then scaling to $10,000 a day, instantly testing broad campaigns on a big winner. I instantly test broad campaigns when I find a big winner. And what that means is just testing campaigns where the ad sets in it are literally just age range or just countries with no interest. So when I'm scaling, I'm duping campaigns at all sorts of budgets to see how they react. I'm trimming the underperformers, and I'm cutting aggressively since I'm going to be testing a bunch of campaigns anyways. And when I'm in the phase of scaling and I already have a lot of data, I'm gonna get sales like instantly. Facebook is going to find me sales really fast. And then I'm only scaling with CBOs. And then once I scale, once I find the campaigns that are working and at a sweet spot for my budgets, I'm scaling vertically on these campaigns by 20% only day to day. Retargeting campaigns on Facebook, again, Google, across all their channels, like again, multi-marketing channels, super important. Refer to your Google Analytics to see where your customers are coming from, and then you can figure out where you want to put your focus. And as you're scaling, it's really natural for your cost per purchase to go up and your ROAS to go down. So how do you tackle that? The first thing is not go to Facebook and try to tinker with that. The first thing is fix your landing page, like optimize it for conversion rate. Increase your average order value, use multi-marketing channels such as email marketing, and really measure all these changes, okay? You don't want to be doing this blindly. Always have a before and after to make sure you're making good changes or to know if you're making bad changes. So then install Hotjar on your website, install VO, install Neat AB. A 0.2 to 0.5 increase in conversion rate is super huge, and then you're slowly increasing it, okay? So you just have to be testing all the time, and then eventually you're going to have a blueprint that you're gonna follow and replicate across these stores. Getting consistent results, again, making sure you have a broad appeal product is super important for scaling vertically. And then again, I mentioned it's natural for your return on ad spend to drop when you're scaling. Don't play with Facebook, utilize these other channels, and then record your ROAS through analytics, because Facebook's not gonna track everything. You wanna track your return on ad spend across all the channels together. There's a lot of moving parts when you're scaling, so you wanna utilize all the tools you have. And then getting consistent results, always reinvest back into the business for UGC, custom content, so then you can test new creatives, and then you're just able to last longer with Facebook. Because growth does take capital. You just as you grow, you just have to be smart about where you want to put your money and how you want to grow your business. Refer to like people that actually built a real business. They're not taking any money out of the business, and they're not letting it float in the business. Okay, they're actually putting it to work. So really think, when you run into problems, think where they're stemming from and then attack it at its roots. So then again, to get consistent results, you're constantly performing tests with your funnel, and most importantly, making sure you're recording the results of those tests and make sure the data is significant. So that's how to scale on Facebook ads and tests. It's super broad, super vague. So ask me any questions in the comments. Again, I have a link in the description for a day-by-day breakdown and case study is going to go much more in depth. I have a bunch of PDFs in the description. It's all for free. Make sure you guys like and subscribe as well. Hopefully this made sense for you guys. My point is just really focus on not Facebook, but like your funnel. Your actual funnel is probably going to be the most important thing. Your creative, your product, and then scaling, super straightforward. If you ever scaled before on Facebook too, you know it's so straightforward. And now that you watch this video, stop worrying about how to scale on Facebook. If you're still stuck there, like focus on these other things, such as how do I increase my average order value? How do I increase my conversion rate? How do I learn email marketing, right? I'll see you guys in the next video. It's literally 5 to 6 a.m. right now. I've been working on this all night long for you guys. I'll see you guys in the next video.